Hello, everyone. It's me, David Chen, here on the David Chen YouTube channel. Today, with a special guest to discuss the Apple iPhone event that just finished broadcasting. Peter Sciretta from Ordinary Adventures. Thank you for chatting with me today.
Thanks for having me on. I love, I love Apple. I love talking about Apple. And every year I'm excited after each keynote to talk with you and
Yeah, we
to talk
usually
about
we
all the new
usually do
stuff.
this about once a year to kind of
Yeah.
just geek out about what's going on with regards to these events. So anyway, Apple just had their fall iPhone event. It's an annual event, and usually they bundle in a few other announcements as well. And I just want to right out the gate say this YouTube video is not going to be like an exhaustive rundown of every single announcement. Peter Sciretta and I are both online internet creators. We both use iPhones as a critical part of our workflows. And so we're going to just be talking about what are the things from this announcement that really got us excited, what are the things we're confused about, and so forth. But yes, so just right off the bat, don't like. There's many other YouTube tech channels out there that will like give you a detailed rundown of every announcement. We're just going to talk about the stuff that stuck out to us. So before we get started, Peter, I do just want to give a shout out to the AirPods Pro
Actually, before
because
we even talk about devices,
okay,
can we just talk about the keynote
yes,
as a whole?
yeah,
First of all, starting with the quote from Steve Jobs, felt almost desperate after like the failures they've had this past year with the Apple Intelligence, which they didn't mention
which
that
they
word
did was
many
very.
times.
I mean, they mentioned it a little bit, but they basically like didn't discuss it at all, and that's because, as far as I can tell, Apple Intelligence has been an abject failure so far.
Yeah.
It has been a huge embarrassment to the company, and because they announced a bunch of stuff that didn't come to pass. The stuff they did announce was way crappier than it ended up than it was described as. So it started with this Steve Jobs quote about design, and design is how you use it. And you thought that came off as desperate, Peter. Why is that the case?
Because it feels like they need to call back to their earlier successes to be like, remember when we were great? I mean, not that they're not great. I still love Apple. I'm still gonna be. Am I gonna buy most of these products? Yes. But I do feel like they are becoming an underdog, and not an underdog.
That is not
Underdog's
how I would
probably not.
describe them.
They are losing some of the steam that they had.
For
I
sure,
guess is
for
the
sure.
yeah.
And I think what that quote did a decent job of is reframing the terms of the debate, which is, hey, Apple is one of the best companies in the world at industrial design, at designing products that are extremely not only beautiful to look at but really easy to use. And going back to our roots, baby. Forget about this, your Chat GPTs and your Anthropics and your Claudes. We are
Forget about the use cases and the innovations that would actually be like make your life better. Care about
wow.
like how thin this iPhone is.
Okay, well that's a rather uncharitable way of looking at it, but fair enough. Fair enough, Peter. So,
I
yes.
also think it's interesting that they decided to go to Apple stores from around the US or world. I don't know. I guess it was probably US. I guess they finally got bored of the Apple campus. Only who was there? Tim
I
Cook was at the Apple
I
campus.
have to say the Apple stores look really cool. I mean,
They do.
they're very what's cool about it is they're very different. Like many of the flagship ones are really really different from each other. You know, some of them are underground, some of them look like a cylinder, so they got some good looking stores. They got some good looking
Yeah.
stores. All
But it
right.
also made me wonder because they're filming it in daytime in these Apple stores. And I'm like, are there people around that can hear what they're saying? And like, did they shut down the entire store? How did they do
Yeah,
this?
yeah. So what you're talking, because yeah, they filmed like these talking heads of like, here is the iPhone Air, and he seems to be doing it right outside the store in public. It's got to be some kind of green screen or whatever. I don't think they're
Yeah.
actually, because there'd be people with those like sonic guns or whatever, like picking up the audio and getting all the
Yeah.
details of what's in the new iPhone Air. So anyway,
The other thing I wanted to express is it confused me because they were announcing all these products and they were giving all these features for the lower end, or should I call it the lower end? Yeah, I guess lower end
yeah,
products that obviously are reflected in the higher end products, but like
right.
they don't talk about those features in the higher end products. So it felt like the features in the higher end products were uh, a lot less than or at
Yeah,
least things that like
this is very reasonable to me, Peter, because they always do this, and
yeah.
it is a tricky. Having been involved in corporate communications before, it is a tricky thing to announce for products, right? Like, what order do you announce them in? Some of them have shared features, but the features are new. So, like, what order do you bring the features up in? And I think they did it in a fairly competent way because they brought up, hey, here's the iPhone Air, or here's the regular iPhone, the shitty one that's like
Yeah.
no one that's like the cool the no, not very cool baseline iPhone, then super cool design iPhone Air with like all these cool cameras, and then by the way we have these iPhone Pros that also have those same cameras, but we don't need to talk about them again.
Yeah.
There's no real other way to do it because if you start with the Pros, then everything else feels
I
like a
get it.
letdown. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. I think they did it in as good of a way as they could have in general. Um,
I,
yeah.
I just came after the keynote. I was a little confused of like what was actually in the pros and what wasn't.
Yeah, I
I
mean, I
was,
think that's fair. I think that's fair. Okay,
yeah.
so let's just talk about a few things. We're not. I don't think we're really going to talk about the watches. Like I have an Apple Watch Ultra. The new one looks cool. I don't really. There's nothing really that exciting
High
about
blood
it.
pressure. I mean,
High
that
blood
could be
pressure.
big.
Yeah, yeah. It's true. Another way that the Apple Watch can tell me I'm dying. But
Well,
the
here's the thing I'm wondering. I know you did you want to talk about the AirPod Pros?
I want to talk about the AirPods Pro because to me this is like one of the biggest announcements.
Okay.
Um, First of all, AirPods Pro are actually a huge part of my life. I wear them virtually every night when I go to sleep. Our house is right next to the bedroom. Our bedroom overlooks the alley where there's many garbage cans, and often, and we live right next to a restaurant. So like at like 11 p.m., like the restaurant dumps like a whole bunch of wine bottles into the recycling bin. It's super loud and irritating. And then at like 7 a.m., we got garbage trucks rolling in and huge clattering sounds all the time. And so I wear my AirPods Pro virtually every night. I put them in and it blocks out all sound. And I literally feel like I have a deeper sleep when I wear these things.
Well, guess what
So,
now you're going to have a 4 times more deeper sleep
well,
because you're going to hear four
two,
times less.
two times compared to AirPods 2, AirPods
Oh,
Pro 2.
yeah.
But in addition, I also take AirPods Pro 2 to concerts. I went to Seattle Storm WNBA game the other day. I brought my AirPods Pro. I wore them basically the whole time.
Yeah.
They're really good to bring instead of earplugs because you can like control when you want to let in noise and when you don't. And so I think they're an excellent product. Like I wear I like they're a critical product for my life. And so the idea that they have announced the next generation of the AirPods Pro and they're even better than the last ones is really exciting to me. Yeah. So
See, I think what sells it to me are the features you're not mentioning, like the live translation feature. If it can actually work in the way they demonstrated it, and that's a big F because I feel like
yeah.
I've seen this kind of demo before and it never works that good. If it can actually work, because I travel a lot internationally now, that
Yeah.
would be a game changer for me. So
Absolutely,
like,
and you know that I am probably about to spend a substantial amount of time in a non-U.S. country, and I think the challenge, Peter. So first of all, I was going to get to the features, okay, but
okay,
I'm just saying in general, I'm excited about it, and like the key feature, the big feature is the new AirPods Pro 3 have apparently 2 times better noise cancellation than AirPods Pro 2, which is like I think AirPods Pro 2 noise cancellation is really good. Like I wear them on airplanes and it's really good. And I wear them when I go to sleep and it's really good. So the idea that it could be 2 times better, I'm like, how is that even possible? But I'm eager to find out. Okay, so that's one of the big features. The AirPods Pro are also smaller now, so they can theoretically fit into more different kinds of ears. So that's exciting. Maybe
smaller, but they also don't fall out of your ears, so they're like
hopefully,
better.
hopefully,
So
and
that's what they claim.
they're including 5 like I assume they're including 5 ear tips with each package, which is like a lot of plastic or whatever, but it does mean that potentially more people will get to enjoy AirPods Pro 3. So all that stuff is exciting. But as Peter Sciretta indicated, the most cool feature or the coolest feature that they announced is live translation, where you can put AirPods in and have it translate from one language to another in real time while you're speaking to someone. The thing that I think is challenging about this, Peter, is the context, right? Like, people need to understand, hey, these AirPods are on live translation. Like, I need to learn in that language how to say, hey, I'm translating you through these earphones, like, so that you can actually have a
Yeah.
conversation in a way that would actually make sense. But I agree. I'm texting my wife excitedly. I'm like, dude, this could be a game changer for us if it works well, which we have no idea if it
Yeah.
will, right?
I mean,
So
it could be one of those things that eventually, especially when you go to like a big city like Tokyo or something like that, like when you see someone with those earbuds that's local, like they'll probably know.
right,
Like,
like if you see someone who looks like a foreigner and they like touch their ear and they're like nodding and then like saying stuff back to you,
yeah,
it could be an indication that they're using live translation.
yeah,
But this is like they also have like health features now in the AirPods. I really think when we
yeah. Well,
watch Spike Jonze's Her, the movie, the idea is that there's this AI earpiece in your earpiece and doing everything for you. And we already have the chatbots that some people think are as good as the ones in Her. What we don't have yet is the form factor.
hmm,
And this comes closer to that computerized future in your ear that we saw in that movie of, hey, it's just an earpiece and it can do things that can make your life meaningfully better, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I wanted to talk to you about that heart rate sensor because, I mean, that's cool that they can now get the heart rate data from yours. But I feel like 95% of the people that have that are going to get the AirPod Pro 2 or Pro 3
Yeah.
are going to have an Apple Watch. They're like in the
Mm.
Apple ecosystem. So I'm like wondering what benefit does this do for me? I have a lot of friends and I go in the treadmill a lot. And I'm not sure if you know this, Dave, but this doesn't work well on the treadmill. You put it on your foot so that it can register the movement more
Mm.
because you're not really moving your arms as much
Yeah,
on the
yeah, yeah.
treadmill. So I'm wondering, will the AirPod Pro 3 heart
Right.
rate
Will
sensor,
work
will that?
will be better than
Yeah,
the Apple Watch one. Very possibly. Also, Peter, some people don't get the watch. They just get the
yeah,
phone and the AirPods, and that's probably enough, right?
yeah.
So but yeah, that's potentially very interesting. So all right. So those are kind of some of the accessories. I'm really excited. I'm gonna get this like day one. I'm so excited to try these out. Like it's this is such an important part of my life, Peter, that I have AirPods Pro 2 and then a separate AirPods Pro 2 backup in a new box in case like I lose, because they're so
Yeah.
important for me to like maintain my sleep and all that stuff. Now I need to sell that AirPods Pro 2 box.
See,
So
I had the AirPod Pro 1 and
yeah,
then I switched over to some Beats
yeah,
just because they're literally my color. They're that like neon
yeah,
green that my
yeah.
glasses are, and they're not even as good. They
No, they're
aren't
not.
as good.
They're not nearly as good. I've tried the Beats ones as well. They like lose connection
Yeah.
sometimes. I find the Beats to be a very inferior product to the AirPods.
But
Um,
this is like the features here are making me want to switch to the AirPod Pro.
yes,
So
you should consider it, and yeah. All right. So the other thing, I mean, there's the iPhone Air. I don't think that's really of interest to you and me. I am curious what you
I
think
mean,
about the aesthetics of the
who
iPhone Air.
who is this of interest to? Because I've never talked to anybody that said, Dave, the one thing I wish my iPhone was thinner and had less battery. Like
Uh huh.
I've never like those are not features that anybody has said out loud to me. But I mean, I'm sure maybe I'm guessing when you pick it up, you're gonna be like, ooh, I need to own like, do you know what I mean? It's gonna feel cool.
I think you are underestimating how much people find iPhones to be boring and how much they want their phones to look cool. I have watched multiple viral TikToks, like hundreds of
Yeah.
thousands, if not millions of views, of people saying they are they don't know if they can stick with iPhone anymore because the Samsung stuff is so freaking cool looking. And in fact,
Well,
a lot
that's the problem with all this Apple stuff. Like we were going through this presentation and they were like, here's the AirPod Pro 3 and they showed this like teaser graphic and I was like, that looks like the AirPod Pro 2. And then they would show Apple Watch. It looked exactly the same. And then they showed
Yeah.
What else did this show? They just kept on showing stuff, and I was like, it visually looks exactly the same as the older generation, but I think that's changed with the iPhones a little bit.
I agree. This is the start of, according to Mark Gurman, 3 years of massive iPhone changes, right? So theoretically, for those who don't know, Mark Gurman, one of the best Apple scoopers, he is basically never wrong. I think he's right about like 90+% of the time, 95+% of the time.
Yeah.
He certainly predicted the iPhone Air, perfectly. So, and what Mark Gurman has forecasted is that there's going to be 3 years of after a really long, I'm going to say 4 to 5 year stretch of very few iPhone changes, that the next 3 years, including this year, are going to be pretty big in terms of iPhone design changes. So the big one this year is the iPhone Air, which replaces the iPhone Plus. Next year, huge deal. There's going to be a folding iPhone, which will be like, I'm so curious to see how
My
that's gonna be
question is,
executed.
do you think it's going to be like the Flip where it folds down, or you think it's going to be? Are they going to
Right.
be like? Is Tim Cook going to come out and be like, we have a new iPhone to announce, we have a new iPad to announce, and they're
Right.
both the same?
Is it gonna be like a Z Fold kind of situation, right?
Yeah.
Or Surface Duo type of situation. And then the third year, for those who don't know, I think it's gonna be like an iPhone Pro with curved glass, if I recall correctly, something like that. So that one's not as interesting in my opinion, but like this one and the folding one are gonna be really ones to watch out for. So anyway, the iPhone Air. Peter is asking who is this for?
I mean, I know who it's for. It's probably going to be. I think it's probably going to be more popular with the female demographic than the male demographic.
Let's not be gender. Let's just say
okay.
it's going to be for people.
Gender,
it's going to be for people who are interested in the iPhone as a fashion accessory. Okay.
But no, I wasn't even saying it in terms of fashion. I was saying it in terms of like people that have less pants space to fit an iPhone.
Well,
it generally tends to be more female.
Well, yeah, but not for good reasons. The point being, if you're into the iPhone as a fashion accessory, I think this is for you. In particular, the crossbody pouch. I don't know if you saw. That is very similar in appearance to like a small handbag or a handbag, like a cool handbag, fashionable handbag accessory that people might wear. And so it's really being positioned as a fashion item.
By the way, that whole thing I saw big in Japan like 3 or 4 years ago, and it's funny to see that's finally like catching on over here. Like the whole having
the
a
crossbody,
crossbody,
yeah. It's cool. It's like you're carrying it around like it's a handbag basically. And I do think there will be a market for this. I'm not sure how big the market will be, but these are people. The people who will buy this product are people who do not care about the battery life. They don't need the best cameras. They want an iPhone that looks beautiful. And there's many people who buy iPhones or phones because they want to make a fashion statement. I think, yeah.
The thing for me, I don't think is. I mean, the battery seems like it's going to be fine. I could survive on that battery.
Yeah.
It is interesting that it's a Pro chip inside, so they're not like sacrificing speed or power to go thinner. But I think the thing for me as a content creator, that one camera is a no-go. I just can't. I mean, they're claiming it's 2 cameras. They're like, what did they say? It was a 2 times telephoto and a 1 times 24. Like, no, it's 1 photo and you're cropping in.
Yeah. That's so okay. Putting all that aside, Peter, do you think it looks good? I think it looks kind of cool. It looks interesting. I don't know that it's different enough from the regular iPhone to really be like, wow, that's extraordinary.
I wonder how that camera bump.
I'm gonna pop an image onto the screen here if you're watching this on my YouTube channel, and people can kind of see. Let's see. Can you see? Yep. Okay. So I'm putting up. Whoops. Sorry. I'm putting up the image of the iPhone Air versus the iPhone 17, and it looks pretty similar, Peter. The iPhone 17 is already quite thin. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. I don't know. Basically, I'm like, I just don't know if it's that big of a difference. You know what I mean?
I think that camera bump is going to be a lot bigger on a thinner phone.
Yeah.
Or it's going to seem a lot
bigger?
Well,
it's not only a camera bump, it's like this raised section of the phone, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
It is
Yeah,
interesting that they're putting ceramic shield on both sides, and it's a what, ceramic shield 2 or something. They made a
yeah,
sequel apparently.
yeah,
Uh, and that's another thing that's with the Pro, but they didn't really like harp on it because they already talked about it on the other
yeah.
phones. But yeah,
Okay, so none of that stuff is of interest to Peter Sciretta and I. Really, the main event is the iPhone 17's Pro, and I gotta say,
well, first of all, let me say,
oh,
iPhone 17, when they announced the iPhone 17, those colors, I want a colored iPhone,
mm-hmm.
Dave. I like that green. I wish. Why do they think pros are boring? And then they announced the orange, which I know is getting a mixed response online.
Yeah,
You texted me and you didn't seem to be the biggest fan of it, but I don't know. I love big bold colors, and I
yeah,
wish it would give us more bold options with the pros.
yeah. I'll put a little image on screen here of what the images, sorry, the what colors there are for the regular iPhone. But it is consistently year after year. The regular iPhones have the good colors, and the Pros have the boring ass colors. So, but
Yeah.
this year they have okay. So I mean, I am quite excited about the iPhone 17 Pros. First of all, they've completely redesigned them. They now look much bulkier and much more like a professional work device, I would say,
Hmm.
is how I
Yeah.
describe this. The biggest change, the biggest like impact for me, honestly, Peter Sciretta, is there is now a 2 terabyte option for the iPhone 17 Pro. I am 100% getting the 2 terabyte option because I'm shooting so much video. I'm gonna be shooting on Insta 360. I'm gonna be shooting on DJI cameras. I'm gonna be like importing all that video into my phone. I need to have as much storage as possible, and I'm starting to run out of my 1 terabyte. So the fact that they're doing two terabytes is really exciting. And so what they have now is they have these 3 cameras on each device. Each one is 48 megapixels. Let me see if I can put something up on the screen here.
The thing about this that was confusing to me, Dave, and maybe
Yeah,
you can lighten. It seems like it's an upgrade in terms of photo quality, but then when they went to talk about video, which is the thing that I think you and I are probably most
yeah.
interested in. I know you do photos, but like it doesn't seem like they upgrade. It doesn't seem like an upgrade in the f-stop, or that it's going to. I don't know. Do
They
we
did
know?
not they did not talk about it very much at all. Um they
I mean,
did not emphasize. Yeah.
I have to assume if you're going from 24 to 48, that you have a bigger sensor, so it has to get better low light.
Right. But why didn't why wouldn't they say that, right? Why wouldn't they
I don't know.
say something about the sensor size or what have you? Um that's very odd. It's very
Yeah.
odd. Okay, so here's a question I had, Peter Strata, that I also have the answer to. Is they keep using this word fusion. I don't think people know what fusion is. I follow this news pretty closely. I don't know what fusion is. Okay, so I am reading here from an article explaining what the iPhone 16 fusion camera is, right? And the idea is that the fusion element comes from the built-in 2x telephoto functionality that essentially adds telephoto capabilities from the best lenses on the device. So Apple says it'll give you 2 optical quality cameras in one, and the company says it'll make it easier to get close to your subject and more easily frame your photos. The idea is that it can give you like 2 cameras in one. I think right is the baseline concept of fusion.
Yeah.
Um, and I just think it's confusing. Like they're like it's a fusion camera. They're trying to like make fusion a thing, and I don't think
So
they've done a
what?
good
So
job
what
of that.
is the telephoto camera? Is that actually 8x, or is it 4x with fusion turning it to 8x?
Unclear to me. It says up to 8x optical quality zoom. So I assume that it is perhaps a 4x camera that like then you can do up to 8x and they call it optical quality, but it's not actually optical zoom, right? That's my assumption.
Yeah.
But the idea is that you can have up to it looks like okay, here we
40
go.
time digital zoom with
Yeah.
photos is what
You,
they said, but they didn't tell you what you could do for video.
they have this thing here where on the website, and I'll put this on the screen as well, they have this thing where see the same screen, right? The same image, and then at the bottom of the screen, you can tailor it to macro 13 millimeter, 24 millimeter, 28, 35, 48, 100, and 200. So the idea is that like it's 8 focal lengths that they use. I don't know how they do exactly how they do 8 focal lengths from the 3 cameras, but suffice to say, the idea is just like having 8 lenses in your pocket with super high resolution 24 megapixel photos by default. So that is the general concept, is that you can get kind of multiple different focal lengths from
That
one
is
camera.
cool, and especially being able to go 8 times, like that's such an upgrade from what we have now. But I really want to know what the video quality. What it, they didn't. They didn't. Like, they were like, let's talk about video, and then they started talking about ProRes RAW and all this stuff that I don't think 99.9% of people. I'm someone that shoots video, and I don't care about that. So
Yeah, yeah. Let's talk about some of the other camera features that they did mention, though. So
yeah,
there is this new thing called center stage for photos, which I think is kind of interesting. The idea is that, in my opinion, most selfies look like ass. Like, I don't know if you feel that way, Peter, but a lot of
yeah.
not all, but most of the time they're not good. Often because the camera is not wide enough, and you want to get you and your friends in the photo, and then it's not wide or it's low light. And the
Well,
idea
that's
is
why everybody's doing the
right.
other. They
They're
do
using
the
the ultra
ultra
wide.
wide.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so the idea is that it is a all new square sensor that enables zoom and rotate options. So theoretically, it can locate how many people are in. Oh yeah, so sorry, Beatmaster in the chat saying technically it has 4 lenses. I think he's referring to the one front facing. Um,
Yeah.
but the idea is that uh, this is an all new square sensor, and then it will automatically recognize how many people are in the shot, and then like reframe the shot to get everyone in the shot, which is kind of a cool concept. I have not loved the center stage implementation on MacBooks and such, but on a phone, maybe it could be a good idea. So
Well, the cool thing here is in video, there's this concept. I guess it's also in photo, but there's a concept of open gate, which is basically
right,
what this is.
yeah.
It's a square frame that in post you could decide to choose the vertical or the horizontal, and you wouldn't. You could shoot both at once, which I'm not sure if it's actually practical to do that because you want a frame for either or. But I
I don't know if
love the
this is
idea.
yeah, just to be clear, I don't know if this is open gate. I think this is more it will
Well, they said
select
that.
it will select the
Oh
correct
yeah,
one
yeah.
for you. So open gate is you just get what's on the sensor, and this will like select the best framing
You
for
don't
you.
think there'll be an option in like the
Yeah,
Black Magic?
maybe you can there'll probably be an option for open gate, but I don't think that's what this is. I don't think that's what center stage technically is. Maybe I'm wrong about that,
Yeah.
but yeah.
I think this is awesome, but I think this doesn't address my biggest issue with the front facing camera, and that's that the camera sucks.
Yeah,
And it has
I'm
like
curious.
it's
Yeah, how
in
good
low
it'll be.
light, it's so bad. Like
Right. It is an 18 megapixel front facing camera, and hopefully it will be better. A lot of people use the front facing camera to film content. Like if you go on Instagram Reels or
yeah.
TikTok, like most of those videos are shot with the front facing camera. So,
Yeah. I mean, I do
and
all the time, but like the better camera's on the back, so I usually end up going to the back camera and you can't see yourself or you have to put an attachment or something and it just becomes unwieldy. Like I want to use the iPhone to make it easier, not to make it more complicated.
okay. So, Peter Sciretta, one of the big cool things about the new iPhone, right, is you've already mentioned that you don't care about this, but iPhone 17 Pro theoretically does have ProRes RAW. Now, the iPhone 16 Pro, the one I'm holding in my hand right now, also has ProRes RAW, but the problem is you need like a Thunderbolt 4 cable connected to a hard drive to film it. You could not film it directly to the phone. Now, apparently, on iPhone 17 Pro, you can film it to phone. I think that actually
Yeah,
is kind of a big deal.
but even at 2 terabytes, Dave, it's going to be like what? Like
You
you have
can film
10
like
minutes of recording?
you can film like half of how long this conversation is, and that will fill up that 1 terabyte drive or the 2 terabyte drive, and then you'll be done there. So
I was really
um,
hoping that the rumors that we were getting 8K video was going to be something. Not that I need 8K, but
yeah,
like if you have 8K, then you can crop in even more, and then you're basically getting a better digital zoom. I guess that's what they're doing technically without saying it. But one thing I want to talk about is the battery. There's more battery here especially on the Pro Max without the SIM. That they said 39 hours of video playback. You could watch every single season of Stranger Things, all 4 seasons of Stranger Things, and your phone would not die.
And I
According to
intend
Apple.
to. And I intend to. But yeah, I mean, how does that compare with previous generations? Is the question, right?
I don't know.
Why? Let's see if we can pull up those numbers. But
I'm honestly surprised that Apple doesn't do that more. I feel like in the Steve Jobs era, they would give you an example that was more applicable to, like, they say 39 hours of video, like saying you can watch every season of Stranger Things and your iPhone wouldn't die. Like, that feels more impressive than hearing 39 hours to me. But
yeah. I don't think I really compare it to previous phones because I think the gains are only incremental.
minimal. Yeah.
The big thing for me, Peter, that I'm kind of worried about, and I don't yet have an answer on this. I couldn't find this information as we went to air here. Is the weight? I have to say, these new phones look way heavier than the previous phones. And let me tell you, Peter,
They were talking about how much more lighter the material was. And
all
stuff,
right,
Dave.
maybe it will be fine. But this is the iPhone 16 Pro Max. I have this, right? I love this device. Like, this is one of my favorite iPhones. Some of the iPhones I've gotten have been horrible. I've hated them. Some of them have been great. This is one of the great ones. I have, like, it's a workhorse. It does a great job of filming things, editing things. Like, I'm just a huge fan of this phone. And also, I'm afraid of it getting a lot heavier, because it's already kind of at the max weight that I would feel comfortable with. So I'm a little worried about the weight and whether this new camera system and new battery is going to be a lot. Oh, hey, actually, here on the website they have a thing where you can compare. This is fascinating, Peter. Look at this. So they have a thing where you can compare the new iPhone with the old iPhones, and if you look at the drop down, all right, it's funny. It's like, hey, compared with iPhone 13, iPhone 13 Pro, 13 Pro Max, etc., 15 Pro, all the way up to 15 Pro Max, but they don't have 16s here. So you can compare the battery life with everything up to 15, but not 16s. So I don't think it's actually that big of a difference. Because here it says for 15 Pro Max, it's up to 4 more hours of video playback and up to 10 more hours of video playback on the iPhone 17 Pro Max compared to the 15 Pro Max, but maybe not a big difference with the sort of 16 Pro. So anyway, all right. Also, I like what Beatmaster in the chat said. Hear me out. Put a smaller screen on the backside for the best selfies monitor.
Yes,
kind of like Samsung does. And it's possible maybe we'll see something like that with a folding iPhone. We'll see, maybe. Okay, so at the end of the day, Peter, pretty cool camera upgrades. I'm looking forward to taking photos on this thing. Question mark about the video upgrades? Like, they talked so little about them. Oh, Peter, there's a dual capture video mode now, where you can capture stuff in front of you and like your face as well.
I thought third-party applications could already do this.
There's already apps that let you do that, so I don't know that that's a big deal, but hey, it's probably going to be built into the phone now, so that's a thing.
I do have a question. Is the camera button still there? They haven't mentioned the camera button, did they?
Yes. It's called camera control, and they did not talk about it at all, as far as I can recall.
So is it gone?
No, it's there. It's there. You can see it in the renderings. Yeah. So, Lorenzo Corso Music in the chat says, "Hello, I'm from Italy. I could buy a 16 Pro with 256 gigabytes with a discount for 950 euros. Should I buy that one now or go for the standard 17, which is the same price? So would you recommend a 16 Pro or a 17? I personally would think 16 Pro is better than a 17. That's kind of my...
Yeah.
It has
I'd vote for 16 Pro.
It has more cameras. It probably has better battery life. It has, I think, I'm not sure if the screen is better on this one, Peter, but I think it has ProMotion. I'm not sure 16 does. Maybe it does. Anyway, you can actually use this neat drop down to compare it, Lorenzo, at the website. They let you compare the 16 Pro with the other ones. Anyway, go ahead, Peter.
I thought you said they couldn't compare the 16.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. You're right. They don't let you compare that one. My bad. Okay,
maybe-
Beatmaster says the camera control button is still there, and they mentioned optimizing its feel, but they mentioned it while talking about the cases. So, yeah. All right. So at the end of the day, I think we are probably going to get these 17 Pros.
What did you think of the new case? The new, it's not the fine woven, but it was, what was it? Something else woven, right?
Tech woven. Tech woven.
Tech woven.
I think all Apple cases are grossly overpriced, and I try not to buy them in general. How about you?
Yeah, same.
Yeah. Okay. Well, yeah, those are our thoughts. Anything else you wanted to mention, Peter?
I think we hit most of it. I'm hoping this new ceramic shield will be a little less. Not that I don't scratch my phone, but I have like a little. What would you call them? Like micro scratches and stuff like that on my phone. So I'm hoping it will protect that. But other than that, I don't have anything else to say about it, I guess.
All right. People in the chat have a couple questions. First of all, Beatmaster says, I'll have to get the Pro Max. Only the Pro Max gets 2 terabytes. That's fine. That's probably what I was going to do. Samir Khalifa says, thoughts on the Pros not coming in black anymore? Surprised they only have 3 options for the Pros this year.
I will say the color for the Pros is baffling. It feels like they saw some feedback. They're like, we want some colorful Pros. So they're like, we'll have to make one of them colorful. And then I don't know. Doesn't it seem weird to not have a black?
It does seem weird. I mean, what am I using? I think I have the blue one, right? I don't know if you can see in the chat. I really think this one looks very cool, you know? And it's not focusing. Anyway.
Honestly, looks more black than blue.
No, this is the black one. This is...
Okay.
I can't even freaking tell, honestly. But it's a dark colored one. And now they only have a dark blue. It's called deep blue. And then cosmic orange and silver. I agree. Those are odd. That's an odd selection, right?
By the way, I love the names for the colors. Like on the iPhone, they're like misty blue or something.
Yeah. My reaction was the blue looks weird. Like the blue doesn't look great to me. It doesn't look as good as the 16 Pro's blue. Peter Sciretta, you're a fan of the orange. You're going to get the orange one, right?
Yeah, I'm going to get the orange, even though I feel like if I get a case for it, that might make it weird. Like the orange, you kind of like, if you get the orange, it's almost like you need to get a clear case or just have it without a case. Because like, it's not going to match with anything that has
John D says, jarring that I hate all the available colors except silver being matte. I agree. I don't like any of these colors. Like, I'm probably going to go with the blue just because it's the least conspicuous. And here's the thing, Peter. I'm worried about you, man, because if you're going traveling all around the world, you have an orange iPhone with this huge camera unit. It's basically screaming, please steal this from me. Like, I want to have an iPhone that people don't notice. Like, people aren't like, oh, that's the new expensive one. Like, I don't want people to assume that. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll just have to get that strap that goes around my shoulder so that no one can
cover it up in a sheath. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, I think we're going to wrap it up. Peter, always fun to chat with you about what's going on in the world of Apple. Yeah.
I do have a question for you, Dave. What would you have wanted them to announce today that they didn't? What is the disappointment?
I'm going to put this out there, Peter. I don't think you need that many lenses on the iPhone. Like, I would be happy with fewer lenses that were higher quality. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know they do these 3 lens thing where it's like one is wide angle, one's ultra wide, one's telephoto. This is not anything that I would ever expect them to do, but I would love to have one lens that's like has a 1-inch sensor or something ridiculous like that. They showed some examples of photos taken using like the iPhone telephoto, and I just still don't think it looks very good. Like that's my even like I'm talking about the example ones they showed during the presentation. And if you're not looking closely, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that's a reasonable approximation of a professional photo, professional camera. But like, I, I I'm still like I think that their wide angle photos are pretty solid looking, and I think their telephoto lens, like portrait photos, kind of still look shitty, and that's a disappointment to me. Even the ones they showed as demos in the presentation don't look good to me, and so that's my answer to your question. Is
Yeah.
I wish they had one that was like a better telephoto lens.
Yeah.
Um, but who knows? Like maybe it'll really impress me. I haven't used it yet, but just like whenever I use like the 5x telephoto, it always looks muddy. Never looks as good as the other ones in terms of the other lenses in terms of the photo quality.
Yeah.
I'm rarely happy with it. Okay, all that said, what
I
about you,
agree.
Peter?
No, I mean it's same thing. I wish we got faster lenses,
Yeah,
or I mean that's slightly different than what you said, but it's the same want, the same need. I mean, I someday, Dave, you're right. They're gonna have one camera, and that camera is gonna be capturing at such a high sensor and such a
right.
high megapixel that you literally are just gonna do digital zoom, and that's gonna be
Yeah,
satisfying.
yeah.
So
Maybe. I mean, they've been making these for like almost 2 decades, and I have a Sony A7CR that can take 60 megapixel photos, and those photos look awesome. And the photos that are on the iPhone look pretty good for a phone camera, and they still
yeah,
haven't really come close to it. And the wide angle stuff, I did some photo shoots this year where I used like a wide angle raw photo, and that was like you couldn't tell that it was an iPhone photo, and that was kind of cool. But like the telephoto stuff, I wish had been improvement. There's some video stuff that it's like, have they gotten rid of the lens flares in the videos? That's a really, really big irritation for shooting on iPhone videos.
yeah,
So there are some things that I'm just like basic quality of life things that I hope they work on. But I, like you, am very surprised at how little time and attention was given to the video features of the iPhone. Like,
yeah,
it feels like they really didn't have time to work on it this year for whatever reason. So,
yeah. Doesn't sound like it.
yeah. All right. Well, maybe one day, Peter, when we get the phones, maybe we can come back and talk about what we think of them. Maybe that can be
Sure.
like follow up to this. All right. He's Peter Sciretta from Ordinary Adventures. I'm David Chen. Subscribe to my newsletter, Decoding Everything, at decodingeverything.com. We'll see you later. Goodbye.